Now, earlier this month, on the 4th of July to be precise, the US Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, a far-reaching legislative package which President Trump immediately signed into law. It looks into extending tax cuts and increasing defence spending, among other domestic social readjustments, which we have covered here on Newsday. But while, of course, not directly focused on the African continent, this bill introduces several provisions with significant indirect implications for African economies. So let's head to Washington, D.C. and speak to Adjoa Adjei-Twum, CEO of the Emerging Business Intelligence and Innovations Group, Ebii, which helps businesses enter African and other emerging markets. Welcome to the programme. What seems to you the most significant part of this for African countries and those looking to invest there?
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on your show this morning. So there are several key areas to this bill, and like you rightly said, it's not directly aimed at Africa, but it's a huge bill that indirectly affect the continent. So we've got things like the AGOA. AGOA is due to expire this year in September, actually.
That's the African Growth and Opportunity Act.
That's correct. The African Growth and Opportunity Act. It hasn't been renewed, and there is no new aid packages or investment channels mentioned in this bill for Africa. But of course, Trump did host some African leaders last week on the 9th of July. But that was more aimed at the critical minerals of these countries. We've also got the tax, there's a federal tax of 1%. To all outbound remittances. That's not directly connected to, it's not directly targeted at Africa, but it's for every single outbound remittance that will be starting from January 2026. Now, that's going to affect the continent because there's a lot of diaspora within the American market that sends money back home. And the figures actually show around 27 billion just in 2023 alone of money from diaspora or remittances going towards the continent. Now, with this 1% increase, that's likely to affect about 210 to 270 million annually of sort of taxes are going to be paid of that amount, million. And so that's money that is taken away from the continent. There's also the projected 3 trillion that is likely to be added to the national debt of the United States over the next decade. This will also affect borrowing, especially most African countries that use the US dollar a lot. There will be an impact on that, especially with their borrowing from the US. There's also the climate, the shift in energy and climate posture of the US. And so the United States was driving a lot of these climate agendas, and there was significant investment, especially from the previous administrations, towards the climate agenda, the EV agenda. But with this new bill, there's been a significant cut. So incentives such as the Inflation Reduction Act has been repealed, and that includes the EV and clean energy credits. Africa may lose around 3.5 to 7 billion in U.S. climate finance over the next 5 to 7 years as a result.
So
the continent.
Yeah, so that's several pretty big impacts there. President Trump clearly wants more transactional policies and contacts with countries around the world. Is there a way for African countries to make this work for them, do you think?
I believe that, of course, we have the America First agenda. I personally, and also my organization, we believe that it would take, constant, the African continent would need to continually to engage. If we're looking at what he did in his first term, he did come along eventually. I would say by next year, we're hoping that after the America First agenda has been a bit more stabilized within the US, he might start to look at the continent. And if he doesn't, of course, we've got China and other countries like Russia that are moving ahead of the United States on the continent.
Okay. Adjoa Adjei-Twum, thank you very much indeed, CEO of the Emerging Business Intelligence and Innovations Group, speaking to us live there from Washington, D.C. Plenty more to come here on Newsday on the BBC World Service with Vic and James.